very good afternoon to all. After a very brilliant discussion, we have had an excellent discussion in the morning. We have had experts, Professor Sarangi, she's Sausar, and delegations by our students. And now I feel very humbled to make before you a presentation which is more of an economic, the perspective, the economic directions as far as India is concerned and Gandhi is concerned. So my paper is titled as Gandhi and Development, a Sustainable Alternative. In this era of globalization, neoliberalization, we see that, as discussed also in the morning, that Gandhi's principles are becoming even more relevant today. There is a greater relevance of Gandhi, his Swaraj, his Sarvodaya, and his trusteeship concept. My paper is outlined as the development strategies adopted after independence, the Western capitalist model, the Gandhi versus Nehru debate. The development in India so far has been inequitable and unsustainable, and there is a need for alternative strategies. And here comes the Gandhian vision, a way forward through Swaraj and Sarvodaya. In fact, a brief background of the development strategies in India, we see that the Nehruvian and the Gandhian ideals clashed immediately after independence. That is, Nehruvian was a modernist and he wanted a modern society, a modern country based on industrialization, heavy industrialization, extractive capitalist development forms of development. And on the contrary, we had the Gandhian model or the Gandhian system, which was opposed to the Western extractive strategies based on greed, individualism, and competition. Gandhi advocated the principles of Swaraj and Sarvodaya for the welfare of all, based on cooperation and harmonious relationship through a bottom-up approach where villages were central to his strategy of self-reliant India. He advocated a strong, and on the contrary, as I said, Nehru advocated a strong India, modern India, based on industrialization and manufacturing. And here I would like to say that after independence, India adopted the import substitution industrialization policies, ISI, and thereafter we moved on, and by the 80s we witnessed that there was a slowdown of the economy, there was a slowdown in terms of, that is, the growth rate, there was a rise in conflict, state-society conflicts in the country, and this was most prominent in the 70s when India witnessed a huge lot of protest movements across the country. The government was failing to fulfill its objectives, and Gandhi's and Nehru's objective of achieving a disease-free country, a country where full development will take place, these sort of objectives were failing. And that is where when we are coming to the second half, that is 1990s, where rapid changes, economic growth was, economic reforms were introduced and rapid economic changes were made. India moved on from being a negative growth rate to a very fast growing economy of 7% by the end of 2000 and thereafter the first decade of 21st century. However, in this regard, I would like to show you some, I can just present my argument in terms of certain data that I would like to highlight certain data that despite this growth rate, despite this rapid growth rate, India's development has been very skewed or lopsided. It has been very uneven, as has been highlighted that there is a growing inequality in the country. And also this I would like to highlight, globally we see these changes, the global south still going, that is moving towards poverty, moving towards large inequality, while a few rich countries reaping the benefits of globalization. In this regard, I would like to say that states like Madhya Pradesh, Orissa, Uttar Pradesh, Rajasthan and Bihar have lagged behind in 1996. Post-1996, Bihar, Uttar Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh, Orissa, Rajasthan have had the lowest human development scores in the country. This is a very important aspect because although we have shown rapid economic growth, India has had very poor human indicators. And this has also been highlighted that in the Tendulkar report has shown that although there is a clear reduction in both rural and urban poverty in India between 1994 to 2000, but huge inequalities have grown. The poverty head count has fallen from 5% India were lifted out of poverty. Yet again we see, there is disparities, regional disparities, gaps between, that is uneven development in the society. The economic survey of 2020 shows that Odisha with 57.5% of its population below poverty line, Bihar has got 54.4%, Chhattisgarh 49.4%. These I'm just highlighting to show that these states are the most mineral-rich states in the country, where the state governments have launched rapid heavy industrialization programs to overcome poverty. But despite this, these states are also referred as the Pimaru states, and they are lagging behind in terms of human development indicators as far as the country is also concerned. India today has at least, India with less than, it is having a record of being home to a third of the world's poor. Recent evidence show that India continues to top the world hunger charts. India also, with a fifth of the global child population, India has 40% of world's malnourished children. So where is the dream? Where is the heavy industrialization processes? How has it helped the country? We are seeing on one side huge poverty, large, that is malnutrition, infant mortality rate, education. India is lacking behind most of the countries. I'll show you that. India is lacking behind as far as other South Asian countries are also concerned in terms of health and education indicators. It is India regarding health. India ranks 143 in a list of 188 countries, far behind Sri Lanka. It stands at 79, China 92, even behind war-torn Syria with 117 position, Iraq 128 according to the World Forum data 2017. Why this data that I am giving you? This data is primarily to prove that so far the development strategies that have been adopted by the country, that is in India, and also we see the global perspective, have not been able to fulfill their required goals. And in this regard, we see that the Gandhi's vision of harmonious society based on cooperation and mutual understanding comes to the forefront. Gandhi economic great goals based on Swaraj and Sarvodaya are not materialistic or individualistic, but have an ethno-spiritual and community-oriented. He regarded material affluence created by industrial development paradigm as unrealistic, unnecessary, undesirable, and counterproductive. This is what Gandhi has emphasized, and he was against the Western model of development, which was capital-intensive, resource-extractive project. And in this regard, Gandhi and his ideal society, he visualized the ideal society which was not materially or economically affluent, but as conceived by mainstream economists, but a dream based on Sarvodaya society where the good of individual is contained in the good of all. That is what we have been highlighting in Gandhi's Swaraj and Sarvodaya, where it is not an individualistic concept. It is not what the Western concept has emphasized on greatest happiness of the greatest number. It is the large society taken together in one strand, that is taken together to bring about, to give each one the opportunity to produce and earn sufficiently through honest work for decent and dignified living. Its emphasis is on all three components of well-being. That is, Swaraj emphasizes on material well-being, mental well-being, and moral spiritual well-being. And only then can true Swaraj be attained. And it is these principles of Gandhi which we see will help in the creation of a social capital, which, like all forms of capital, will be which will be in fact more productive in the economic sense as it enhances the well-being of all. Thereafter, in Sarvodaya, social order Swaraj provides the framework within which welfare and well-being can be understood, and Swaraj is where each individual feels a part and parcel of society, and thereafter, wherein the upliftment of all is possible. In conclusion, I would say that this Swaraj or self-rule would gradually facilitate, that is, bring about, that is, a decline of hungry and starved millions of our country and create a self-reliant and independent communities. On the contrary, we see the modern strategies which we have emphasized so far, or the Western-centric strategies, are breaking the backbone of rural economy, creating further dependence on the state. And this is one of the reasons where we see the growing state-society conflicts in India even today. And the ideal social condition can be achieved through a harmonious blending of Swaraj, Sarvodaya, and trusted council. These are the principal core ideas where Gandhi has emphasized, and we are seeing this now being highlighted in the Millennium Development Goals and the Sustainable Development Goals. These are what Gandhi has told long time back, and these are the principles which are ingrained within the Indian society. These are values which are deeply ingrained into the Indian society, and if these are taken into consideration, we are sure to create a self-reliant India and fulfill our dreams, what we are seeing in the terms of different governmentally, using the words now, Atmanirbhar Bharat, or a self-reliant India. I think these are the principles, Gandhian principles, which will help and facilitate in bringing about Atmanirbhar Bharat, as we say, by helping all sections of societies, by bringing them all together under a community and the feeling of community and oneness, rather than a feeling of distancing and alienation amongst us.